Where I can see. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm so glad to see all of you in here again. You guys have been amazing, coming and showing support to everybody. So please make sure you share this out and let everybody know that we have Patrick and Melissa on here. If you have not met them before, we have Paranormal Patrick and Melissa served up with love. I do believe you're going to be starting your paranormal soon.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's Paranormal Melissa, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we have both their links down in the description. So go over and show them some love. And we're just going to kind of let them talk about their experience. And if you have any questions, make sure you put them in caps so we can see them. But I'm going to give the floor to you guys.
Okay. Thanks, Amy.
Uh-huh.
All right, go ahead.
Well, hey guys, how's everybody? I don't even know how to start. Well,
just go for it.
Okay, I don't even know what day. Everything about that time is pretty much a blur to me. But we started an investigation at my sister's trailer back in early March last year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the neighborhood I grew up in. And that's also a trailer that we lived in for several years, and things happened to us there as well. But
where I had a lot of my first experiences was on that property.
So my sister had trouble with things moving around and hearing stuff, and so we went down finally to investigate and see if we could get some answers for her. And at the time, when we got there, I was actually doing an intro to the video, and my son called her and said that his house was on fire. Not totally on fire, but
the furnace had caught on fire.
The furnace had caught on fire, like in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
He said the fire department were there and they were taking care of it, and we were okay to, go ahead and do what we needed to do. So, we went through it pretty fast.
We were there for a little while, though.
Yeah, we were just keeping a check, So we wound up back at my son's house, and
which it caught fire again.
Yeah.
And we had gotten a lot of wild and crazy voices from that trailer. Like I said, we had a lot of issues happen and a lot of paranormal events happen when we lived there. So we think that maybe something was trying to keep us from going in and investigating that day, because that was before we walked in. So, but anyway.
We also got a name that day. And I know demons usually don't say their name, but it did that day. Came through on the spirit box.
It did.
So I don't know if that was the start of things or things started before then. Anyway, our son and daughter-in-law, they wound up moving in with us.
Crazy times.
And there was this tavern that we were trying, to get into, and it's a old historic tavern. They still serve food, but they do have
there are two rooms you
could stay in and you could rent or whatever, And they were open to the hauntings that they had there. And,
well, they had new owners and they were open to the paranormal. They wanted us to come in, be their paranormal team, and do investigations and such.
And up to that point, the previous owners weren't letting anybody in. They owned it for it was in their family for, what'd she say, like 100 years? Or it was like...
I think it's shifted hands a couple of times, yeah.
I thought it stayed in one family, but I know, Anyway, they were open to it, so... So we were trying to get in there. They actually did have another team that was supposed to come there, but I think it was a little bit of an argument between them. So when I texted her, we were uptown, and she was like, I mean, this was coming up on March the 13th,
which was Friday 13th.
So this was like the 11th or 10th.
It was 2 days before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, my team backed out on me. You were my second choice.
But you're now my paranormal team. Can you come in Friday?
Yeah, can you come in Friday? And we were like, yeah.
Had live-in babysitters at that time, so.
Yeah. Cat sitters and all that stuff. But. So we went down the day before and we talked to the owner. She showed us around. She wanted to do like a little meet and greet at dinner time. Mm-hmm. If anybody had any questions or anything like that of what we do.
Before the investigation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe they could hold, the K2 or whatever. We had spirit boxes and stuff down there. Anyway, it wasn't a whole lot of people there, but it was just getting off the ground.
Yeah, well, it was also when COVID was really happening here in our state, so things were already a little haywire, and people weren't really going out. And, so
it was a little crowd, but it wasn't.
It was a little crowd, but not as much as they probably would have had if it hadn't been for COVID. So
the next day, we packed our stuff and we went down there around dinner time. And she had been like not feeling good the day before. That was the owner. So when we came down on the 13th, her daughter was there and said that, she was feeling bad. The homeowner was the tavern owner was feeling bad, and she didn't want to, give anything to us, which we were previously up there with her the day before, but. So we were like, okay, no big deal. We had a couple other people that were investigating with us that we carry every now and then. We kind of did our thing,
we were left to the building was ours for the whole night.
Yeah.
The upstairs was the 2 bedrooms plus an office, a sitting room. That also led up to the attic. The downstairs was the restaurant, and then there was also a basement. So.
And part of the whole building was pretty much an historical place.
It was built in the 1700s.
Yeah, 1790s, I believe. Mm-hmm. But there was a part of the basement that my eye keeps like shut. There was a part of the basement that was
it was still dirt on the
there was no
there.
floor. It was just a dirt
and it was
floor.
still like original brick in there, and it was really old.
More original than the rest of that. Mm-hmm. So we did our investigation.
It was very what's the word? Creepy. We were seeing things. Shadows.
Toilet flushed.
The toilet flushed on its own. We caught that on camera. That was later into the night.
You could hear walking.
You could hear walking up and down the steps when we were like in the basement. You could. We got tons of stuff on the spirit box. He did an alone challenge in the basement, in the dark with his night vision. A chair moved in the basement with him.
Chair moved.
Let's see. Around about 3 a.m., it got really, 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 the air got really thick and heavy. You could really tell a difference around 3 a.m. It was just like a switch just went off. And everything just changed. And the creep factor really got really bad.
Heavy.
Yeah, very heavy. When we first got there, our lights died on us. We could not get them to work. They worked when we first turned them on, and after that they wouldn't. We had to use flashlights all night.
Yeah.
There were 2 bedrooms. The couple that were with us, they would not sleep in the other room because of the feelings in the other room. It was very creepy. We caught lots of photos of, you could see faces and people, all kinds of stuff. But then, you can go ahead and.
Okay, so when we finally decided we were going to go to sleep, we done all we could do. We set the night vision up, so it would shoot across all of us.
And mind you, we went to bed at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Actually, it might have been closer to 6 by that time.
Yeah, it was good. If we were going to sleep, it would.
We only slept a couple hours.
So we set, I set the night vision up, and I set up another camera with, some cups, because there was a supposed little girl up there that
would play.
That would play, and then play ball and stuff. So it was like actually it was a
teddy bear.
Yeah, it was a teddy bear.
Mm-hmm.
So we set all that up, and we went on to sleep. And
we did get and we haven't put this footage up while we were sleeping because of the things that happened after all this. We haven't gotten to that yet. But we did hear like a glass or a cup or something close to the camera.
True. Yeah.
What else was it? I want to say there was some other things. I didn't sleep well because I wasn't feeling well. I didn't know I was sick. I had gotten the chills. I thought something was affecting me. I could not stop shaking. I thought it was paranormal, but it turns out I had the flu. Didn't know. I think we had caught that from the owner the day before. But we could hear conversations when we were laying in the bed. Yes. You could hear them. I heard someone walk up the steps at one time. It sounded like they were coming up the steps, coming in the room. It sounded like there was a party going on downstairs because, of course, it was a tavern.
I think the 2 closets that were in that bedroom kept moving.
Yes. So it was all kinds of things going on, and we do think it was because it was Friday the 13th and the veil was very thin. So it was a lot of things going on. But anyway, so I didn't sleep very well, but I did fall asleep for a little bit. And then
I think we all fell asleep for a little while.
For a little bit.
The other couple that was with us, they actually slept in the room with us.
With chairs pulled together.
Chairs pulled together because they didn't want to sleep. The other room was really.
It had a very, I know it's terrible.
Not the room I'd want to go to sleep in.
It's terrible to say, but it was a very demonic type feeling in that room. And they felt it too, so nobody felt comfortable in that room. So we all stayed in one room where we were comfortable. Not that we think it was a demonic presence at the tavern itself. We think maybe because the veil was thin and that each one of us have our own gifts, that we were a beacon in the darkness and they came towards us, and maybe some of that darker energy did come through. So
yeah, and there was mirrors,
portals.
They didn't realize any of that.
Mirrors facing each other everywhere. It was crazy. So yeah.
So and then we also had the attic. The attic was spooky too, but they had heard a lot of things. The light would come on by itself.
Yeah.
Things like that. I think they said something. I don't know if it was a fan that kept coming on or something.
I can't remember.
But anyway, it was stuff that was going on up there too as well. So anyway, we lay down and fell asleep, and right before I woke up, I felt this like hot hand. I was facing away from that room, away from the spooky room. And I was actually facing her, and I felt this very hot hand touch me right on my shoulder.
Like right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, like right on the back, right back.
And you can still kind of, I still feel it to this day. I feel, it's just like somebody had just taken their hand off of
Like a hot,
or from
like
over a grill or something,
Mhm.
and just put it on you.
like a poker or something, whatever they call them things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hot
A
enough.
branding iron.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It was hot enough that I jumped up, and we actually caught the blankets.
Yes, we have
moving.
footage of the blanket actually right before he lifted his head up. We have footage of the blanket just kind of barely moving. You can see it. And then right after that, he lifts his head up and looks. And that's when it happened. So we do have footage of that. We have not put it up, but we do have that.
So after all that happened, we packed up our stuff. The other couple went, back home, and we were heading on home.
Came home, took a nap. We were done. We were just exhausted, drained.
Yes. I mean, and it was probably, I don't know, 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock or so.
Something like that. I think they said we had it till like 8 or 9 in the morning.
And then, of course, we had to talk a while.
Yeah. So we finally got home and we laid down and
slept a couple hours, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. Is that chat caught up? Or is...
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I'm just wondering. So I wake up under the covers, freezing, blowing hot air on myself, trying to get warm.
And I'm already freezing.
She's already got the chills.
Because I'm sick and didn't know it.
Yeah, I didn't feel anything until I went to sleep and woke up. So we're both sitting there shivering, and she finally has to get up and go to the bathroom. So I tell her to turn the shower on because I was so cold that I wanted to
warm up in the shower.
I wanted to warm up in the shower. So as I'm walking past my dresser, I just grabbed a stack of clothes because I'm freezing. I'm getting anything that I can. Get in the shower, I put it on hot as I could get it. It didn't do no good. I think it made it worse, to be honest with you. But so I grabbed anything I could. I put jogging pants on, a shirt. And I actually felt a little bit better once I felt like I got clean and stuff. I didn't even bother washing, so I don't really want to call it clean. I just stood under the hot water pretty much. So I come out and she's still freezing, not feeling good. And
I knew at that point I had something. Yeah. I was sick.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Whatever she had, I had. I was just coming in behind her.
Because we had actually shared drinks that night, and so I knew if I had something, he had it. So
anyway, I get up and I don't even think I made it outside. I started coughing, gagging, just dry gagging, just nothing. And I started to feel that I started to feel the burn in the middle of my chest. Now, I've had a heart attack before that, so I knew that burn. This one was a little bit more severe and intense, very intense. And the more, I tried to get it to ease off. I took things,
So finally,
Pepto-Bismol, all this stuff.
So finally, he just said, call 911. We called 911. They came. They took him to the hospital. They ran tests. They said he didn't have the flu. They said I looked terrible and I should get myself checked. So I did. They told me I had flu, but told him he didn't.
Now, this is just this little old hospital. That's
in our little old town. So
we're far away from anything that's big. So it's not a very big hospital at all.
So then they tell him, they do X-ray, and they tell him he's got double pneumonia.
Yeah.
And they kept testing his heart enzymes. And they were getting ready to just send him off to test for COVID because they thought, okay, you got double pneumonia, you got COVID. You don't have the flu, you have COVID. So then that just changed everything.
Yes, and they were taking blood to test for a heart attack, but it didn't seem to be their concern.
Because then after they realized he had double pneumonia, then it was like, oh, he must have COVID.
That's when things changed.
But that one final test they checked and his heart enzymes had elevated. So that's when they knew something was going on and they transferred him to a heart hospital. So anyway, needless to say, he did have a heart attack because he had double pneumonia and did not have the flu, and they thought he had COVID. He had to wait for a COVID negative test to do any kind of testing or anything.
And of course, that was when the test took forever.
Took 5 to 7 days or whatever it was. Felt like weeks.
I went in on the
15th.
15th. That's when I arrived at the
because it was really late that night. Yeah.
And I didn't get any kind of surgery until, no, they did the
they had to do a catheterization. Once they kept on doing tests, they finally told him he had the flu. So then once they said he had the flu, he didn't have COVID. So then they said, okay, you can't have COVID. It's unusual for you to have COVID and the flu. So they went ahead and did the catheterization. He had to have a triple bypass. So then he was able to get a triple bypass. So he had to have a triple bypass.
So and it was 8 days before they actually did the surgery
because of COVID.
Because of the COVID and the test and all this stuff.
So the whole time he's in the hospital, I'm homesick. I can't see him. He's by himself because of COVID. They wouldn't let me visit, and it was just very chaotic. What was I going to say? He thought, and we can't rule this out either. He thought, okay, something touched me. It caused me to have a heart attack. We can't say 100% that didn't happen. And we can't say 100% it did because we don't know. We have heard of someone else that all of a sudden had double pneumonia that wasn't sick before.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't. All of a sudden, he had double pneumonia. How did he get double pneumonia so fast? So we don't know if there was some dark entity that did touch him and caused that, if that's possible. We just don't know. But that kind of halted a lot of where we were in our paranormal
journey. It took a long time once I got home just to, it was hard just moving around, getting my stuff together. It took a few months before I could even.
Well, the fact that he had double pneumonia, they had him on high antibiotics. He had to get through that before they would do the surgery. And because they had to deflate one of his lungs, then that lung that was deflated had issues after the surgery. So that prolonged his stay in the hospital after. And then he was weak because he was in the hospital for so long. So it took him a while. And, mentally, having to go through all that by yourself is very trying, because he was treated like a specimen, like the plague, because they thought he had COVID. So it was really, really hard. So when he came home, we had a lot of hurdles to jump.
So it was a while before I even thought about the paranormal again, but that or filming again, but that thought kept popping in my head, what actually did happen. Should I go back to it? Is this something I wanted to do? And a week after I got home?
No, it was 2 days.
2 days after I got home, this tavern that we
Investigated that night that all this happened.
It caught on fire and took out
the attic
and
the bedrooms, the upstairs.
And we drove past it the other day, and it's
still a year later.
Yeah, it's still sitting the way it was. They tore everything out that looked like it could have been on fire, and it still sits.
Yeah. I know they were hoping to be back open like last October,
but because of the historical part of it, they have to take their time and make sure everything's done right. So I don't even know if they're going to even open this place again.
I hope they do, because it is a historic place, and I hope maybe the Historical Society or some preservation somewhere will help them get it restored. They have to somewhere. But, in the beginning, that beginning of that week, it started, something was trying to prevent us from going and doing that investigation with his sister. Because as soon as we got there, that's when we got the call from our son. And it didn't happen once, but it caught fire twice that day. So it started with a fire, ended with a fire, and all the stuff in between, and all the things that have wrapped up in it. And his sister that lived in the trailer, she passed away in December, 2 days after Christmas. So it's kind of like a lot of things happened, all intertwined, and it's just...
Yeah, even though we knew
it was coming, it was still...
She had problems, but still it happened. And
Doris, they did find out how it caught fire. It was from the attic. I think when they redid the wiring in the building, they did not update the wiring in the attic. So that's what happened. I don't know what sparked it or why it happened, if there was a surge or what, but
yeah.
It's
a shame, because now looking back at it, I really want to go back to that. Once I've gotten into it again. But it took a long time to even think and want to come back to paranormal.
Yeah, because right then, when all that started, we were just really getting into filming and getting in a groove, and we were going on a trip like every month, and of course COVID would have messed that up, but we could have dealt with the COVID. We could have done other things, but this really, really knocked us back. So, and not only did everything with the lockdown and COVID and everything, it was all the health issues, and it's been rough.
And even now, it's still, we have investigated since then. We've gone to West Virginia. We did three locations there. But even now,
it's still hard to get anything
moving, rolling.
Right. We're trying, but we do think there is something there that's kind of holding us back. So,
yeah.
May have followed us.
You wake up every morning, you look at that scar, and you just question, which way you want to go. Some way, sometimes it's different than other mornings. Sometimes it's like hard to keep pushing on, but it's something that we got into and we wanted to do for a long time, and it's like a calling. It constantly calls it, and anybody who investigates knows. You finish an investigation, you just want to go back and do another one, and another one, and another one.
Right. And it's just like, we had a lot of conversations over the last year, and trying to figure out what we were going to do, and if he was going to continue, and of course, I love it. I enjoy it. And it's something that we do together, which we do a lot of things together. We're always together. Been together for a very long time. So I was trying to push him to get back into it, but I knew it was going to have to be in his time to get back into it. But, so we had many conversations trying to, the pros and the cons, and, just one day we're like, it's just what sets our soul on fire. That's what, it's what we want to do. We just need to do it. So, that's what we're doing. We're just going to go out there and investigate.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not going to slow me down. I've already made up my mind that, this is what I'm doing, and
Yep, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to go sometime, right?
Right. You might as well go doing something you enjoy.
I'd rather learn more about the paranormal world now. I feel like I got some kind of
knowledge.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if it wasn't for Amy coming into our lives and pushing us to do live streams, I think it would have been a way less chance. And all you guys that are in here now, I mean, I look and I see you and I know you, and you're my family, and
yes.
We look forward to it. Maybe that's the only thing we can do right now is just live stream, and maybe put out a video every now and then. But
that's what brings us joy.
Yeah, you guys bring us joy,
yes.
and paranormal brings us joy, and it's fun, and it's just fun being in this world with you guys. Somebody who understands.
All our weirdness.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
So
I'm always the one that's really pushing him. So.
Yeah.
Always.
I believe the spirits are still there.
Probably.
I do.
Because I feel like they're still there because the whole building is not burned down. It's just like the top floor and the attic. So the bottom floor, it's probably got a lot of smoke damage, but I don't feel like it's completely destroyed. So yeah, they're probably still there.
Yeah, and even the house next door is related to that.
Yes, and that's also haunted too.
Yeah, and that's haunted. And we have been invited there, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember if it was the guy who lives there now or not, but
we had not rode by that place, the tavern, which is not that far from us. We had not rode by there since that day we were there until last week. Was it last week? Yes, it was last week. Was it last week? Week before. It was a week before, I believe. Yes. So when we went by, it was like this very weird kind of feeling, but then it was like, wow, look how bad that looks. Because, we've seen photos, but we hadn't seen the damage. So it's really sad. I hate to see a historical building just sit and, But hopefully they're going to get it repaired. But we are planning to get that video up. I think it's more or less been an emotional video. Not so much that the video is emotional itself, but what it's tied to.
Yeah.
We did it was a 4-part series. We did the first 3, and they took a while. But the 4th one we've taken longer with because that one kind of like was the finale. And we kind of want to like finalize it and kind of close that chapter because it was so devastating. But we had to kind of get ourselves to the point where we were ready because it has been such an emotional year in so many ways.
Yeah.
And we're not, and I know a lot of other people have had a lot of emotional issues with COVID and everything.
Yeah, there's definitely
Definitely our COVID story is different than everybody else's COVID lockdown story, but we got some questions. Hey, Jared.
Hey, Jared.
What is your favorite place you investigated? Well, we haven't been to too many places because we were just really getting started when that happened, but I think for me, I really liked Lake Shawnee, which we haven't put that up yet either.
Yeah,
Personally.
we got to work on that.
I know we've got some stuff we got to put
so
up,
much stuff is, and y'all know too. It's so much stuff that goes on in a week, and you keep adding in and actually getting to where, you just don't like every day is something else.
Yeah.
Every day we have to do something.
Yeah.
And so it's there. We just need to do it, find the time. But yeah, I think Lake Shawnee was pretty cool.
Yeah, Lake Shawnee was really good.
And the Hangman, I mean, all the Hangman House.
When we went to the prison in West Virginia, the state pen, we went to Lake Shawnee, and we went to the Hangman House. All three of those were great places. They all had different things, different aspects of them.
Hey, Laura.
Hey, Laura. Hey, everybody in the chat. I know we've been gabbing. We probably missed you guys. But
trying to keep an eye.
I have a question.
Oh,
she scared me.
I know. I forgot. It's so weird.
I should have said food.
But we just enjoy investigating anywhere that we go because we just love it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, question.
You got a question? Okay.
You guys feel like you're going to go into your investigations any differently now, or is there things that you want to change or just do different to kind of make sure something like that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, definitely. Even though I know we prayed before we started anything down there, that's something that we really are going to push now.
We really need to work on doing that more. Mm-hmm.
Definitely more. We need more protection.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the thing is, and I do believe that I said this, I threw myself too far out there because I wanted to see something so bad. I wanted something to happen so bad, and it did.
You went a little too far.
I actually said, you can touch me.
Yeah.
And I think, you
did that on our last investigation too,
and that was a stupid thing to do.
It was. I'm like, I can't believe you said that because we should never say that again.
That's my biggest mistake.
Yeah. Don't ever say that.
Yeah.
Don't say they can touch you. But he's the biggest skeptic. I'm going to tell you, when we're watching videos, he's going to point out everything he thinks is fake or, what he thinks is not.
Not you guys' videos.
Right.
But like, Nuke's Top 5.
Yeah, or Chills or something. If he sees something, he's like, I don't know about that. He's the first one to say something. So he went in sort of a skeptic. So with that mindset, he was kind of like maybe challenging it, maybe. And I think maybe that's where the problem came in.
Yeah. Yeah, I seem to have gotten what's the word?
Cocky.
Yeah, cocky.
Yeah.
And I definitely learned my lesson on that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely pray more.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you got all your bases covered. And I think the last 3 investigations that we did were the ones we did in West Virginia. Those sort of brought me back.
Mm-hmm. It was a really good trip.
Yeah.
He was very, very nervous to go.
Yeah.
But it was a great trip because it got him wanting to get back in it. And we missed that so much.
Yeah.
Really missed those road trips. But yeah.
Any other questions on
Any
there?
other questions?
Boo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that you're getting back into the swing of things, what would be your dream place to go and investigate?
Wow. I mean, I'd like to go anywhere, but I'd like to go to some places that nobody's been to.
Yeah.
You know, those different places.
The unknowns.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I cannot think of anything today.
I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff in Virginia, especially up north. We just got to find the time to get to it.
I mean, I'd like to go to some asylums.
Yeah. That's the word.
I'd really love to go back to Lake Shawnee again. I enjoyed it there, but it was really, really cold. I'd like to go back.
Yeah, I like to go back there, and
I do feel like that I had a connection with the little girl.
And we didn't really investigate the whole
the burial
ground that side. We just kind of stayed in that one the park area.
Yeah, but I like to go to like the Stanley and.
Oh yeah, Stanley's definitely on there.
Yeah, all the places.
I mean, I know a lot of people's investigated all those, but you know, it's kind of one of those you want to mark
They're
off
on your bucket
list.
list. So you know, even though people have investigated, I still want to go. Clown Motel, all those places.
Yeah.
Trans-Allegheny, Penhurst, Waverly Hills, all those.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to go to Bobby Mackey's. I know you do, Amy, but I don't know if I want to go.
Yeah, I do, but I definitely will be nervous.
Yeah.
Going there, but yeah, it's still on my list. But do you guys think, you know, I know a lot of places people will say they believe demonic activity and stuff. Do you find yourselves veering away from places like that, or just to be safe?
I think it's.
I mean, do you think? Well,
it was something we definitely have to think about.
I mean, we went to the prison, and we definitely knew there was a lot of like not nice things there. So that didn't steer us away, and we didn't even really feel anything there, which now we know why. But
yeah, that was definitely a lie.
Yeah. So I mean, I think if it's a known place that we know it's a demonic entity, then maybe we're a little more hesitant, or maybe we would go in with a little bit more protection or something to make sure that we would be okay. Because
definitely be more careful.
Because I do think we're both vulnerable.
Right.
There's things that we know we should do, like we should probably sage ourselves before we, before we leave place. And a lot of times people forget about that. You know? You don't really see that in everybody's videos, but that's a lot of what they do behind, behind the scenes and stuff.
And a lot of times you get busy and you don't stop and you think, okay, I should have said a prayer when we finish this, or we should sage before we leave, or we should do this, or we should do that. You forget because you're just in the excitement and the adrenaline. You forget.
That's very true.
We need to stop doing it.
I mean, we're still green,
Yeah, we are.
I hate that word, but we are.
We are.
We're
not
still in the
professionals.
learning process. We'll be learning until we don't do it anymore, I guess. But
well, if y'all ever meet a professional, let us know.
Yeah, for real.
Because we're all still learning. There's so much we can learn from each other, and just hearing your story, Patrick, can open up a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah.
Things they probably don't think about every day going into investigations, and some of the risks that you actually do take.
Yeah.
Yeah. You show me your scar.
Yeah, I'll show you my scar.
Yeah.
I'll show you
my scar, and we're so happy you are still here with us. His heart anniversary was just last week?
Yes, the 23rd.
23rd.
So
That's when he had his surgery. Yes.
we are so glad that y'all are here and that y'all are back, and we're excited to see what you guys come up with next. No more of these stories though. We don't want to.
No, I don't want that no more.
No. I mean, this is just part of our story. This is not our story.
Exactly.
Yes.
Very well said.
Yes.
Just need to get rid of the little booger that's.
Yeah, it feels a little lighter since I've saged, but I do think I need to do it a couple more times.
Yeah, we need to brush up on our saging techniques and stuff.
There are a lot of videos on YouTube.
Yeah. Yes, we need to do that.
I appreciate you so much coming on and sharing your story. I know even if it helps one person open their eyes, our job was done here today. So Jenny said she has a question real quick.
Okay.
Sure.
Right ahead, Ms. Mod Goddess.
Just don't think you're invincible. I guess that's the main takeaway. You're not invincible.
Nobody's a badass.
Nobody's a badass. We thought he was, but
you're good. I think every single person on here has done that and went, oops. You're good. Kind of have a feeling I know what Jenny's gonna ask, but
I do too.
Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anybody else's questions real quick.
I will be putting a video on how to take care of crystals and how to sage. Oh, that would be a good one to see.
Yeah,
Sandra.
we need to see that.
Yeah, a lot of people need to do that because that's something everybody needs to know. Laugh out loud.
Full moon tonight, but it's all cloudy again. Every time we have a full moon.
Doris says,
"Why are you so awesome?" is her question.
Why are you so awesome? I don't know. Why are you so awesome, Jenny?
She also wants to know.
I don't think we're awesome, but anyway.
Everybody in here is awesome.
What scares you most? Ghosts or people? Not ghosts.
Yeah, people. Yeah.
Unless it's something evil.
Yeah, we actually went and took the concealed carrying permit class yesterday, and I got her to go with me because they were offering it for free, and so now she can get hers too. So when we go to places like this, we can actually carry and be more protected. So,
and I actually really enjoyed it and had fun. So.
Yeah, she had more fun than I did. She did better than I did.
My ideal date is either paranormal investigating or at the shooting range. So it's definitely fun, and it's a stress reliever.
Yes, definitely.
So, guys, if you have not grabbed their channels yet, please make sure you get the links in the description. And Paranormal Patrick and Melissa go live on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and go back and watch the videos they do have up, and be looking for the ones that they're going to be putting out. So we want to thank you guys so much for being here with us. We love you all.
Thank you, Amy. And thank everybody.
We'll definitely be there tomorrow night to watch y'all live.
Thank you so much.
All right. Love you guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Love you all.
Okay, guys. Coming up next, we have Patty. She is going to be talking to us about some of the struggles she may have being partly blind and part deaf, and the struggles she has doing paranormal investigations. So be watching for that notification here in just a sec. See you soon, guys.